Preparing live
There
stream.
we go.
Got it.
Here we go.
Got it. Yay. Hi there, everybody. This is Linda Marcus Smith, your gal with the Veterans for Military Comedy show here today. I'm going to leave everybody spotlighted the whole time just because it's easier for me. How's that for selfish? Thanks. Welcome, 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 everybody. If you're in your living room, I hope you're enjoying watching this. This is for you. If you're military, veteran, family member, caregiver, first responder, or anybody that's hurting, I don't know where we're going to find those people, anybody that's hurting in the world, this is your chance to kick back and laugh at good, clean comedy. I'm tagging the USO and Armed Forces Entertainment now every time and sending these videos to many military and veteran organizations and companies. So it's rather ruthless the way I have to be about clean comedy. And this is for your pleasure. Your children can watch, even your family pets, if they know English. It's all right. Just fine. I hope you're sitting close together, because when you're all sitting close together, the laughter is more contagious in your living room. Here on Zoom, you know, not so much, but we like to watch each other and laugh at each other's comedy. And feel free to hire these people that you're seeing before you, even if you're not with the USO, Armed Forces Entertainment, or a military organization. Which brings me to my next thing. I actually have somebody backing me up as a sponsor. It's called the veteransofcomedy.com. David Scott, Clean Comedy there, and he's showing the logo of the Veterans of Comedy. We're members, proud members of the Veterans of Comedy. Their motto is to leave no laugh behind. That's what we're doing here too. We just want to make sure you get every opportunity to laugh with clean, safe comedy. So today I have 4 people here for you to enjoy. Myself as the host. I'll do a little bit of comedy in a minute. Then we have David G. Scott, Clean Comedy out of Missouri. We have the wonderfully funny man with the hat on, the only one with the hat on, Brian Barbecue. And then we have my friend in real life and my friend from the New York comedy scene of the Gladys Simon show. We've got Ziggy Susser. He's killing it all over New York these days, you guys. So I'm happy you're all here. I can't wait to hear your comedy every time you come on. I know people really enjoy it. So sit back and let's support each other as we get going into the comedy show now. So a little bit about me. I am getting older. Anybody relate? Brian, are you getting older?
Oh,
We're all getting older. This is so relatable. I have been turning 21 3 times. Plus none of your business. That's what I officially became. Change the subject years old. I come from a rainy little town, Portland, Oregon. It rains all the time. Does. I had to leave my hometown because of the rain. Isn't that weird? Yeah, had to leave because I wanted to kiss a Portland barista. Is that so terrible, David? I mean, he told me I looked just like Marilyn. And I was like, oh, she's so. And he said, no, it's raining. Your makeup's coming down your face. You look like Marilyn Manson. Dodge that bullet. I didn't have to kiss him after all. I know some of you at home are thinking, does she live in a nursing home? Or did she just escape from one? Trust me, some days I'm not even sure the answer myself. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I go by the name Linda Marcus Smith because I am single-handedly turning around history. You're welcome. If you think back, history's been terrible to us people with 3 names. Let's see. John Wayne Gacy, John Wilkes Booth, Adolf something Hitler. I know he had a middle name. I just don't know what it is. He left that out. I'm very upset mostly about John Wilkes Booth. Yeah, sounds weird that I'm most upset about that. But if you think about it, so disrespectful. He was an actor and he got famous with only one headshot. Just ridiculous. Yeah, I know. You're sitting there in your living room going, she's adorable, honey. She'll die soon. Just let her talk. I get it. I get it all the time. I also get the compliment, she does. She looks like Marilyn Monroe. I don't take my looks seriously. You know, I think I look more like if Marilyn had a sister, you know, who had to pop out of a cake and sing happy birthday for Ted Kennedy. That's my level, you know. Yeah. I have a twin brother in Portland, Oregon. Just, I know you're wondering, I really do have this thing called a twin. My twin. We all have doppelgangers, but I really have a twin. His name's Fred, and he's funny. He's very funny. He says, I look just like him. In drag, Brian, in drag. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. But that's where he has me. Yeah. So this last birthday, he came out as a 70-year-old. I was like, oh, I'm busted. Now I have to tell people I'm 70? What? Oh, so difficult. I've been crying for weeks because I like to use math to confuse people. You know, 21 times 3. People don't sit there and calculate your age. You can get away with a lot with math. I went in the military, and when I was in the military, I want you guys to know I got one takeaway from it. They told me I'm related to Albert Einstein. Can you believe that? Me related to Einstein? I didn't believe it. Because look at me. Do I look like I'm allergic to a hairbrush? Yeah. And then, you know, every time I saw that equation, E equals MC squared, I didn't really think a lot of it. I just thought E stands for everybody likes a couple hamburgers at the Golden Arches. That's what I thought. I think that's funnier than you guys do, and that makes me laugh. Evidently, I'm not quite right. That's about my time, but I would like to give up the show to the next person on the schedule to do comedy for you in your living rooms. His name is David G. Scott. His website is David G. Scott Clean Comedy, because that's what he delivers. He is a grandfather, and he is a proud military veteran and a proud member of the Subway Rewards Program. Welcome to the stage right now with a round of applause, everybody. David G. Scott.
Hey, thank you, Linda. You give me the best introductions I've ever had. Thank you. You're very kind. Linda mentioned we're all getting older. It's true. People ask me, do I have any goals? Seeing how I'm so old, and I said, well, yes, I want my life and my 401k to run out at the same time. I want my last check to bounce. My son asked me what I was going to do with my estate, such as it is. And I've decided I'd like my son to inherit it. And ever since I told him that, he's been raising rabbits and bringing me their fur. And I don't know what to do with my heirs, hairs. My heirs, hairs. Anyway, the other day he said to me he was proud of me because he'd heard I'd started listening to rap music. And I said, no. What I said was the last time I fell, I heard my hip hop. I did not name my son David. I wished I'd named him Harley so he could introduce himself as Harley, David's son. as I've got as I've gotten older, you think old people are wise. Just the opposite for me. As I've gotten older, I have more questions. For instance, exactly how quiet is a church mouse? Exactly how happy is a clam at high tide? Exactly how dead is a doornail? Exactly how blind is a bat? And would somebody please tell me what the knights in white sat in? I have questions. And here's something else. The other day, I helped an old woman across the street by repeatedly honking at her. Yeah. Don't you hate it when, well, I hate it, talking about myself. I hate it when I take a selfie and get photobombed by my age. It's not good. It's not good. Oh, here's something. Since I retired, I've lost about 40 pounds, and where I used to have a double chin, I now have this roll of flesh on my neck. It really doesn't serve me very well, but until I try to say no, then I shake my head once and my wattle neck shakes its head twice. No, no. It's like I'm saying no, and my neck is saying, and I mean it, no. The other day, my friend said, you can't swing a dead cat around here without hitting a crazy person. I said, if you're swinging a dead cat, maybe you shouldn't be so judgmental. I keep 6 wigs in my car at all times so I can go back for more free samples. I keep moving forward in Latin. I'd like to have a tattoo. I don't have any. I'd like to have a tattoo. Keep moving forward in Latin. I think I'll get it on my chest. What do you think? Keep moving forward in Latin. No? All right, never mind. Every morning, 2 cute little ducks come visit me on my patio, and I've started giving them bread. My friend Don said, don't do that. If they eat too much bread, they'll get sick and die. I said, I know. I hate ducks. I got an Apple Watch. The first day I had it, I wore it to bed. The next morning at 7 o'clock, it buzzed and said, get up. I said, no. Apparently, it monitors my breathing and my heart rate. So I've nicknamed it Santa Claus because it knows when I am sleeping. It knows when I'm awake. But if it ever figures out if I've been bad or good, I'm going to throw it in the lake. Oh, you better not. This morning, I found a spider in my sock drawer, which is very upsetting because it belongs in the spider drawer. Found a spider in my kitchen, but instead of killing it, I started telling it about my fantasy football team, and it left quietly on its own. I like coffee, but if I drink too much, I realize there are tiny spiders under my scalp weaving hair. Besides, I recently found out that coffee is a gateway drug. 1 minute, you're stirring a cup with a small wooden stick. Next thing you know, you're paddling a kayak. So watch out. I don't go to Starbucks. Instead, I write my name on a cup, pour myself a cup of coffee, yell my name out, and then set a $5 bill on fire. If I only had one word to describe myself, it would be not very good at following directions. The other day, I ate an entire can of Pringles. very disappointing. There were only 3 of them, and they were all tennis ball flavored. Shout out to my 4 favorite bags, punching, grab, barf, and Papa's got a brand new. Ain't no drag. Here's a $1 million idea, a smoke alarm that turns itself off if you yell, "I'm just cooking."
Did we lose him? You're back.
The long, sticky projectile tongue than you can with my. Shall I start that joke over or
Yes.
just move on?
Yes, start it over.
All right. As my mother used to say, you can catch more flies with a long, sticky projectile tongue than you can with vinegar. She was a strange woman. Back in the day, if you were wearing a hat and a cape, people knew you were a gentleman. Today, if you wear a hat and a cape, people know you're in a marching band. If life gives you melons, you may be dyslexic. What doesn't kill you is probably a squirrel. Squirrels make terrible assassins. I dropped my phone down the stairs the other day, but it was okay. It was in my pocket at the time. That is actually a 65-year-old joke. Back in the day, they used to have comedy shows on the radio, and that's a radio joke. Here's the original version of that same joke. I saw my friend walking down the street the other day, and he looked terrible. I said, "What happened to you?" He said, "Well, my wife threw my suit out the window." I'm like, "So?" He said, "Well, I was wearing it at the time." Thank you so much, Linda. You guys have been a hoot. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, David G. Scott, Clean Comedy. All of our social media is over in the chat. So if you want to book these people, take them on a USO tour, Armed Forces Entertainment. These are the good guys in the comedy business who are faithful and willing to do clean comedy and show up for it. Who'd have thought? Now, coming from an undisclosed location, because I don't have a good memory, we have the man, the myth, the legend, who wrote the Liquor Store Chronicles, coming to the stage with his special brand of funny, Brian Barbecue. Give it up for him, you guys. Woo!
Yay. Thank you so much, Linda, for having me. That's right. I'm here live in my bunker. That shelf behind me just full of jokes. I'm like the Joan Rivers of this museum that I work at. And by that, I mean, I'm terrible at my museum job. I'm just here because I love comedy. I love supporting live comedy, and I'm vain. So I love being live comedy too, you know what I'm saying? But you guys have been making me think about this for a while now, because like you guys are like the veteran show and you do stuff for the troops and stuff. I remember one of the worst shows I ever did. Well, not ever did. This guy was on before me and he was doing poorly. He was bombing, kind of like how I am right now, but he was bombing. He was doing this joke about spiders. I don't even remember what it was. It was that bad, but I remember it was like audibly bad. It was just the worst joke I've ever heard about spiders. And then no one laughed and he went, "All right, you guys, keep it going for the troops." And then everyone applauded. And then he went, "That's my time. You guys were great." He literally just didn't get a good last laugh. So he said, "Keep it going for the troops." And they did. And then I was next. I had to go on and be like, "Did you guys really just keep it going for the troops?" Then he left. Like, you let him do that? Because comedy is weird, right? You get to meet so many different types of acts and people, and you have to work with them whether you like them or not. Like, I don't know whether you guys feel about it. Like, there's a funny comedian in my scene because I'm in parts unknown, so this doesn't offend anybody. But I don't know how you guys feel about prop comedy, but there's this comedian in my scene. He's good, and I like him. He does a joke though, where he talks about how money is going to be thumbprints one day. So he's going to steal people's thumbs and then be selling them in the parking lot.
That's
and
right.
EBT stands for everybody's thumbs. That's the joke. I'm not stealing it. That's his joke. But in order to demonstrate it better, he's like, I'll be selling thumbs in the parking lot. And then he pulls out a bag of Vienna sausages, and that's his big closer. So I'm hanging out in the green room with him and a few other comedians after his set. And he's like, hey, do you guys want any of these Vienna sausages before I throw them out? And we're like, no, we don't want a bag of hot dogs that were in your pocket for an undetermined amount of time. And I'll never forget this. He has immediately the ugliest meltdown I've ever seen about it. We're like, no, thank you. He whips one. Man, I'm sick of buying these things. I'm wasting money. And we're like, dude, you don't have to buy Vienna sausages for the joke. Like, you could get something else. You could go to a Party City and buy fake fingers. Floyd, I'm gonna say his name at this point because I'm basically doing his whole routine. I don't know. I got a lot of guns to pick. It doesn't have to be wasting money on Vienna sausages. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've just been thinking about bad shows, I guess, lately, because I guess when you have nothing but time, you just ponder all your mistakes, right? I was going to tell the story, but then I remembered we had to be clean, so never mind. You ever I'm just going to say, thank God I don't drink anymore. I'm 3 years sober and stuff, and a lot of my shenanigans happened when I got into the drinking and stuff, and you guys might be like, oh, you can drink one for me right now so I can watch vicariously. No, but like a lot of people like never knew. Like, I didn't know I was an alcoholic until I started dabbling in red wine, and no one gives you warnings about red wine. They're like, oh yeah, you can drink wine. He's artsy. He's sophisticated. That's fine. But like, no one gives you the proper warnings with like red wine, Like when I used to drink Jameson and gingers all the time, they'd be like, whoa, you had 18 Jameson gingers and you're driving a school bus. Like, maybe you should slow down. You know what I'm saying? But no one gives you like the proper warnings with wine. They're like, he's fine. He just feels warm and he's dancing. But like, no one gives you the warnings of like, hey, Brian, you can have a whole bottle of wine. You'll be fine. But if you have one more glass from that second bottle, your whole night is going to be ruined after that. The confidence you could literally be having a heartwarming conversation by a fireplace with your loved one to screaming at the McDonald's drive-thru like, I'll tell you what's wrong with the government. But I don't drink anymore. In fact, like I remember one of the last times I drank, very insignificant moment, but significant for me. I was getting drunk and I was making a sandwich like I tended to do, right? I was putting mayonnaise on that bad boy because who doesn't like a nice big glob of mayo, right? And I was looking at the jar and it said real mayo on it. And I was just being drunk or dumb or cute or whatever. I took a picture of it and I posted it online and I wrote, you're the only thing real right now in my life, mayonnaise. And then instantly my roommate commented on the picture and went, hey man, that's my mayonnaise. So I was like, man, I got to get this stuff figured out. Right. But I'm married now. I love being married. It's way better than having a roommate because she has to help me no matter what with the bills. No, I love the thing about being married. I've been married for a year now. My favorite part about being married was all the advice I got about being married from my married friends before I got married and just finding how much of it is not true at all. I really can't be the best one. This was my favorite one because I thought it was serious, but then I realized it's completely untrue. It was all my friends that were like, man, being married so great. It's like never having to impress someone ever again. I would like to argue that is called being single, actually. Marriage is way worse than never having to. It's having to impress the same person over and over and over again, and they know all my bag of tricks. I would much rather have to impress nobody. You guys were a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you, Linda, and enjoy the rest of your show, you guys.
Oh my gosh, that was Brian Barbecue from a special undisclosed location. I can't ever remember.
Connecticut.
Where are you at?
Connecticut.
Okay. And do you have an upcoming show in Connecticut you want to tell the masses about?
I have my last show in Connecticut on November 26th. Then I'm moving to Nebraska 2 days after that. So if you want to see me in Connecticut, that's like literally your last chance. You can catch me at Philomena's in Waterford, Connecticut. I don't know where it is either.
Sounds like a great place for Crystal.
Yeah.
That's where Crystal comes from. And so David G. Scott, I forgot to ask you where you're performing coming up this next week or two.
I do. You mentioned nursing homes. I do a lot of shows at nursing homes. I have a couple different nursing homes, and they're by invitation only. Sorry. The problem I have with nursing homes is sometimes they don't want to let me out.
Totally. Totally. Well, thank you, David G. Scott, for your fabulous comedy set. Thank you so much, Brian Barbecue, for your fabulous set. Let's give it up for these two.
Woo.
If you're an Armed Forces Entertainment or a USO booker that's been invited to watch, please get a hold of these guys. They will come and do military comedy, and they will keep it clean, as you see, and they will be funny. Speaking of which, we have a headliner. The last person on the show today, we'll call him the headliner. He's technically the Bob Hope guest spot. He's not a military veteran, but he loves our troops, and he's a friend of mine, and I adore him through and through. I've seen him be a mensch of a guy many times. So if you are looking for someone solid to book, Ziggy Susser is your man as well. Let me read you the intro. He plays at clubs around New York City, was an extra in The Marvelous Maisel, is in Good Timing with Joe Firestone, which you can watch for free on the Peacock channel right after this show is over. His segment was featured on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. You can use as little, oh, never mind, that's for me. Thank you so very much for the wonderful intro and being here today as our Bob Hope guest spot. I just welcome you to do whatever you like. I'll be so amazed to hear your comedy. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I went off the rails. So welcome to the stage, the amazing, my friend, and now he's going to be yours, Ziggy Susser. Yay.
Thanks, Linda. My name is Ziggy, and people say, where do you get Ziggy and stuff? My real name is Sigmund, but I always like Ziggy better until I found out that Sigmund means victory through protection, and Ziggy means should have used protection. I retired after working 35 years at Social Security, but they think I'm still in the bathroom. At my job, I interviewed a woman who told me she worked at a Whole Foods. I said, I used to go to the one on Houston Street. I love their bread pudding. She said, oh my God, I made their bread pudding. I said, it was so delicious. Why'd they stop selling it? She said, not enough people were buying it. That's a true story. There's no punchline, but that's the most exciting thing that happened to me in 35 years at work. I couldn't decide when to retire, so I asked my boss for advice, and he said, today works for me. When I handed in my papers, I cried. I had always hoped to stay long enough to see my assistant manager retire before me. I was so upset for crying that I ran into the bathroom, and the boss came in after me and he said, look, you can stay as long as you want. I said, that's really nice because I'm having second thoughts about retiring. He said, no, I mean, you can stay as long as you want in the bathroom.
Yeah.
My wife was against it. She said, you'll be bored. You're not going to accomplish anything. You'll hate it. She just described my job. My kids are worried that I'm going to get out of shape, and they said I have to walk at least 10,000 steps a day. But how many times can you go from the couch to the bathroom? 241. I said to my wife, why don't you retire too? We can spend all day watching TV, being on Facebook, looking up what diseases we might have on WebMD. She said, I'm already doing that at work. I knew I was going to marry her when we took a trip on Virgin and returned United. She was going through our DVDs a little while ago, and she came across one of those big red Netflix envelopes. Remember the ones they used to send DVDs back and forth? And she puts her hand in and pulls out an empty sleeve for a movie called A Christmas Tale. And she says, I told you to mail this back 10 years ago. I said, I've been busy. He said, You got to find it because we could have, there's my bird, by the way, Charlie. She said we could have thousands of dollars worth of fines, or we could be on the Netflix most wanted list right after Frozen. I said, I have no idea where it is. She said, check the DVD player. And luckily, we've always had it plugged in because we needed a clock in the living room. So I pressed eject and out it came. And I said, oh, let's watch it. She said, no, I saw it 10 years ago. I don't want to see it again. So I didn't want the mail carrier to know that I still had a rental from Netflix. So I went all the way to the post office, dropped it in, came home, and we feel great. It's out of our hair. Sorry, David. And I think we're home free. So, you know, 2 days later, I got my next rental from Netflix. I totally forgot that when you mail them one, they mail another one back. And this one was called Me and Orson Welles. Maybe 10 years ago I wanted that. Now I couldn't care less. And I'm imagining what's going on in the Netflix warehouse. These guys are sitting around a table playing poker. They haven't had a Netflix movie returned in years. They didn't even know what to do with it. Then they have to find my list and see what to send me. They find Me and Orson Welles, have to blow off 10 years worth of dust for Me and Orson Welles, put it in one of those big red Netflix envelopes, mail it to me. Then they have to look up who the next person is on the list to get me in, to get A Christmas Tale. That person gets and says, honey, you're not going to believe this. We just got a movie from Netflix called A Christmas Tale. And she says, finally, I've been waiting 10 years for that. And he says, I thought we were waiting for Me and Orson Welles. So ideally, I'd be buried with my last rental. Dead men don't wear plaid. But nobody goes out exactly the way they'd like. So this is going to outlive me. So in my will, I'm going to leave my Netflix list to my son and my DVD player to my daughter. That way I'm hoping that even after we're gone, they'll have to stay close.
That's right.
And if worse comes to worse, my daughter will have a clock in her living room. Obviously, you can see from this that I've had therapy. So, it's hard enough to start therapy, but it's also hard to know when to stop therapy. But for me, it was easy. My therapist fired me. She said, she tried to make me feel better. She said, it's not you, it's your mother. So she was a little upset about me. She said, whenever I would get up from the couch, I would never put the pillow back down. I should have known things weren't going to go well because before therapy started, she made me sign a pre-neurotic agreement, which meant that, if we separated within the first year, I get to keep my self-esteem, but if it lasted more than a year, she'd get half. She had asked me to bring in my dreams so she can interpret them. I said, I can't, you've killed all my dreams. Our daughter lived with us for a while, and when she was staying with us, she would go out late, and once we texted her, and we wanted to know when she was coming home, and when she didn't get back to us in an hour, we got mad, and when she didn't get back to us in 2 hours, we got scared, and when she didn't get back to us in 3 hours, we listed her room on Airbnb. Our son, used to call this infrequently, but because of, COVID and everything, he calls every day. And he always says the same thing. Make sure you wear a mask. Make sure you socially distance. Make sure I'm in the will. You saw a bird before, and he's really cute. He's a small bird, a green-cheeked parrot. His name is Charlie. And a while ago, I was washing our comforter, and when I took it out of the dryer, like it tore and feathers were flying all over the place. And now Charlie thinks I'm a serial killer. He sleeps with one eye open and a baseball bat under his bed. He's my emotional support animal. He always keeps me calm, but I can't bring him on a plane. He's afraid of flying.
That's okay.
But by the way, I have a grandchild, but that's enough about her. Anyway, I'm Ziggy Sasha. That's my time. Thank you, everybody. It was Pleasure meeting you, and everybody stay well and stay safe.
Yeah, Ziggy, thank you so much. That was fabulous. Ziggy,
My
where will
pleasure.
you be performing in the next week or two out in the New York area?
I don't have any live gigs set up right now. I'll be on some Zoom shows. So I'll be with this guy, Danny Detch. He'll be on a Zoom show on December 2nd. And I'm taking a class. I'll be in graduation class programs. You know, you can go on Facebook and I'll put, you know, everything will be on Facebook. And I hope to do live shows soon. Just follow me, watch, and, you know, let me know if you want to go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for a wonderful comedy set there. So today, Vernon Davis is here. He's comedian Longhorn. I'd like to give you a moment to say hi, anything encouraging or funny. What would you like to do, Vernon? Because you're a pop-in. Whenever you want to pop in, you can pop in.
Great set, Ziggy, man. I was sitting here listening to y'all. Hope
Thank you.
everybody's doing great. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Miss Linda, always great to see you. Brian, what's happening, bro? Digging the skull cap, man. I wish I could wear one of those. I can't, because I try to wear one, and yeah, it looks like yeah, I can't wear one. So I just popped in because I love supporting in the crew. So I stopped by whenever. Dave, don't do that, Dave. You look like a serial killer. Don't let's not do that again. But anyway, all's great. I just come by. I love to listen to you guys. I'm sitting here working at my desk. Oh, Linda, I will share one thing with you guys. You ready?
Yes.
See that? I got this as a veteran. I got this this past Sunday on the deck of the USS Midway in San Diego. We're doing Zoom shows and speeches for veterans with traumatic brain injuries.
Yay.
Good for you.
So I'm kind of proud of it. Yeah, I've never received an award like this, you know, and it's heavy too, so I could use it as a weapon.
Congratulations.
But my point to y'all is this: I know Zoom shows are like taking a blow up doll to the prom. You just shouldn't do that, you know, and it's wrong on so many levels. But at the same time, you never know who is watching your show and what they're going to get out of it. I never expected this, you know, and they flew me out there first class on Southwest, so I got to sit in the front seat. You know, they flew me and my wife both out, you know, and treated us really, really nice. It was probably the nicest event I've ever been a part of. So keep doing those. Ziggy, you say you got some Zoom shows coming up? Keep doing those shows, because there's a lot of people that's not comfortable coming out in public or going to a comedy club yet.
Right.
And you just don't know. You may make a difference in somebody's life. And I'm gonna tell this part, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm just gonna listen. I did a show one night. After the show, the woman comes up to me, long story short, and goes, "Hey, I'm so glad I came tonight, because actually I was contemplating killing myself. And then I saw blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I forget how she got there to the show, but she said, I saw something on Facebook. It may have been MySpace back then, but she said, I saw something. I came to the show. I laughed and I learned, and I feel so much better. And you guys bring the same things to people. So I don't care if it's 3 people on your show or 30 people. Keep doing what you're doing, because you just never know who's going to appreciate what you have done.
That's right.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, Vernon.
Way
And,
to wrap up the show. I couldn't have done better myself.
but one other thing though, you know, you make sure you just wear pants, because you never know when you got to stand up. So
It is called stand up.
so that's it.
Thank you so much, comedian Longhorn, Vernon Davis. Book him, people. You guys, you can book each other. I won't be offended. You can book me, whatever. But get to know each other and support each other's careers, you guys. That's what it's all about, networking. You have made my day. You have made my week. You make my life so joyous. And anytime we can do comedy for military and veterans, you know that makes me tingly and beclept all over my body. So thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
very much.
Love you all.
Love you
Bye.
too.
You. Fun
Bye.
show,
Bye,
everyone.
Vernon.
Good job.
Great. Thank you.